Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, my name is Laura. I'm so excited that you clicked on this video today, and I'm also super pumped because I started a new wedding series here on my channel. I just got married this past October, and I figured why not create a series of videos surrounding my wedding planning process. I feel like this will be super helpful for any of you brides to be out there, and I'm just excited to get started with the series. I already posted my first video of the series, so I will link that in the description down below or right up here in the cards section. As you can tell by today's title, it's gonna be a wedding story time or a wedding horror story, however you wanna look at it. So yes, you are reading that correctly. Our wedding DJ did not show up to our wedding day. So actually one of our first hires was our wedding DJ. It was literally our venue and then our wedding DJ. So I just loved this guy's personality. I've worked with him before. I felt like he was so upbeat and energetic, really good at getting people out on the dance floor. And of course the day is about Nate and I, but above all of that, I wanted our guests to have a super fun experience, and I felt like this guy was definitely going to be the answer to getting the party started. For you guys out there who are newly engaged, just getting into the wedding planning process, one thing that starts to happen, usually like 6 months out, just depends on your wedding vendor, but they're gonna set up like a call, whether it's on the phone, whether it's FaceTime, Skype, something like that, and they're gonna wanna go over everything with you. So the way it worked with our DJ specifically was Nate and I filled out a huge questionnaire. We answered everything from the type of music we wanted played to kind of the setup and layout of our ceremony and everything in between. So I would say about 8 months out, we started this questionnaire. We sent it back because it took several weeks, it was so long. And we sent that back to him, and then he set up a call, and Nate and I were able to jump on and actually like face to face meet him, talk with him, and go over the answers that we filled out. So I remember the first time kind of seeing his face, getting to know his personality. I was like, yes, like I made such a great decision here. So excited to have him be a part of our day, and everything that he was saying throughout the process just was so comforting. You could tell he was so professional, very like business oriented, which sounds kind of funny being a wedding DJ, but you could just tell he had his stuff together. I never had any weird feelings. I never thought like, oh, this is weird, he's not getting back to me. Like, he was so punctual, he was so on time with all of his emails, and like he would say, for example, okay, I will be emailing you at 2 months out and I will give you this, and like boom, 2 months out I would get that email. So there was never a moment where I was like, Nate, does this seem weird? Like, nothing like that. Okay, so fast forward to our wedding weekend. We got married on a Sunday, and all of our like friends, family, bridal party for the most part got into town on that Friday. The Saturday, day before our wedding, I was leaving my bridal shower brunch. So I was in the car with some of my very best friends and bridesmaids, and I remember my phone vibrating and it being my DJ's name and it just saying, hey, can you talk? And I was like, something is not correct at this point in time. Like, I just knew, you know, the feeling that you get where you read something, hear something, see something, whatever, you just know, like, this is not good. And up until this point, he had never texted me. He was always so professional, whether it was emails, calls, it was never just like, hey. So I was like, oh no. And I was like, yeah, no problem. Like, give me a call. So I remember grabbing my best friend Sam's hand. We were sitting in the back seat and I'm like squeezing her hand. So he called and he says, hey Laura, like, how's it going? And he's like very somber. And I was like, it's going good. How are you? And he's like, you know, not doing great. Something's come up, and actually my both flights that I was supposed to be on to get in town had engine failures. And I was like, okay, like, I didn't even know he was out of town. My wedding's tomorrow. I was like, I didn't even know this. And I was like, oh no, like, I'm so sorry to hear that. Like, what do you say? And so he was like, yeah, so unfortunately, I'm not actually gonna be getting back into Miami until tomorrow at 5 p.m. And our wedding ceremony was at 5 p.m. And I was like, okay. I was like, so you'll just be missing like our ceremony. You'll be there for like the dinner and dancing. And he was like, no, Laura, I'm actually not going to be able to make it to your wedding. And I legit squeezed my friend Sam's hand. Like, I'm almost positive it was like breaking. Like, I was just so caught off guard because up until this point, no, things hadn't been perfect, but it was like everything was done. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole process of the florals, done. The cake, done. All of our food and all of it, the decor was done. And so I was like, wait, this is not happening. Like I literally felt like I was like out of my body. The DJ is like everything. Like he had our microphones for my brother-in-law who married us, for Nate and I during our vows. He had the music for when I walked down the aisle with my dad, and I was just like, cool. I was just trying to process, and I was like, I believe I blacked out. Like I literally do not remember what I said. All I remember is I was like, okay, well, like, I'm really sorry this happened to you, and I hope you get back into town. I'm pretty sure I said something like, I'm sorry. And my eyes, like I could feel my eyes welling up with tears because it's like, I had nothing to say. It's completely out of my control. And I just had to be like, okay, bye. So right when I hung up, my wedding planner instantly called me. Such an angel, first of all. She's like one of those people that is so on top of it. Like, of course she is, she's a wedding planner, but just like above and beyond every time. And so I started kind of crying, and then she called and I was like, hello. And she was like, hey, I know you probably already talked to him. I know everything that's going on. I've been filled in. We have backup. We have 2 guys that are coming out from a DJ company. They're local, and they actually are already gonna go grab your other DJ's trailer, and everything that was already packed up in it is on its way tomorrow morning. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like what? Thank God. And so I remember we were leaving the restaurant. I was pulling back in to our hotel. It was just a girls' brunch, so my dad wasn't there. My husband, Nate, was not there. And so I remember I got back to the hotel, called Nate. I was like, where are you? Like, he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I just need to talk. And so we met up, and I just like went into his arms, and I was just like, I had a good cry, had my moment of just like, what the heck is going on? And he was like, babe, it's gonna be okay. Like, our day is our day. It's gonna be here no matter what. And everything else that we've done is perfect. This isn't gonna stop the day from being perfect. And I was like, you are right, thank you. I just remember going out to the pool, hanging out with all of our family. Of course, my parents were kind of upset, just frustrated for the situation, but my wedding planner called them, filled them in, and it was golden. So come the next morning, I remember getting to the wedding venue. I walked into my bridal suite, and one of the first things that I remember happening was these 2 new DJs. I've never met them before, never talked to them. They come walking into my bridal suite with this huge box of goodies and just like a bride's like emergency kit, and it was so sweet and so thoughtful. I will never forget it. They walked right up to me and said, you look so beautiful, like we're so sorry about what happened, but we want you to know we're here, we're covering your day. And like all of anything that was like concerning or whatever just went away. Like I was just like, this is great, like it's going to be fine. I was standing up, I came down like a really big staircase, so I was able to like overlook the whole setting on the balcony before I actually walked down. And every song that played was perfect. And then my song started, and I was just like, oh my God. And I walked down the aisle with my dad. And from that point on, it was just like nothing happened. And so it was a happy ending, of course. Like, what else are you gonna do? That is like the main point of this story, is like, you can't control what happens when it comes down to that. Like, can you choose your flowers? Yes. Can you choose, how you want your decor to look for your day? Of course. But I can't control that the airplane he was supposed to be on had 2 engine failures. So needless to say, I gave our other guys an amazing shining star review for their company, and I just couldn't say enough good things about how epic they made the night. I feel like my biggest piece of advice is just take the day as it comes. Even the month before, it's like everything is so set in stone that as things change or come up or whatever human error happens, just go with it. I know it's easier said than done, but you'll look back and be so much happier that you handled it with grace and you were kind to people and you didn't get like so worked up and flipped out over something that like literally a person can't control. Like there's no such thing as like time travel. I wish, but like dude couldn't just hop in a time machine and be like, oh, actually I'll be there in like a second. Plan as much as you can, stay organized as much as you can, but at the end of the day, things happen. That's literally life, and it doesn't change for your wedding day. That's another thing. I would always think like, oh, like it's our special day, like we've done so much planning, something could go wrong. It is what it is. But it turned out much better than I could have pictured. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I love telling stories. I have many more stories where that came from, wedding or just life related. So if you like story times like this, definitely make sure to click that like button so that I know and I can make more. Clearly, we have 2 pups here that are so lazy and so tired. All I want to do is cuddle with them. But I have to get on my next video of this series. I'm so excited for it, so stay tuned for that. I hope you guys have a great day or night, whatever it may be for you when you are watching this, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!